All right, so I have an update on the Marcellus Williams execution. It is going to take place today, just a few hours. The Missouri governor and state Supreme Court both refused to halt the execution, despite, in my opinion, there really being enough evidence to support the fact that he did. Now, I will admit, in my opinion, I mean, I'm just doing internet research, and the only thing I really see is, other people's opinions, right? But I think the consensus that I'm seeing are really two main facts. One, there was no blood evidence, right? There was no DNA on his on the knife that did the killing. And two, the jury selection was fabricated. Those are the two facts, right? Oh, let me take it back. There's a third one that I read that he admitted to two people, and it's, I guess this whole thing is based on those two people's testimony. One person was a cellmate who had incentive to say what he said. The other person was an ex-girlfriend. And so basically this whole trial, or this whole situation was based on those two people's testimony. And in my opinion, that's just not enough. Let's get one thing straight, right? In this situation, whether or not he's innocent is really irrelevant at this point, because I don't believe that his guilt was proven beyond reasonable doubt. If I was a juror, I would have reasonable doubt. And I think most people, after hearing everything that kind of happened, that's been going on with the handling of the case and just the basic evidence and DNA evidence, most people, I believe, would have some sort of reasonable doubt. Now, whether or not you're going to admit that or not is that's just another story. But what's the point of the justice system if, even with reasonable doubt, we're not only going to convict somebody, but we're going to execute them? I can't get behind that. And I seen some of the comments on the last video that I did the other day. I just can't get behind executing somebody with the stuff that's going on. I believe there needs to be another trial. It needs to be a nice clean slate. And if he's convicted then that's up to y'all. I'm still not a fan of the execution, but there needs to be a full trial. It just needs to be redone, right? And I said that in the last video. Today we're gonna watch this video of them kind of summing up what's ahead for later on today. All right, I think they're still kind of trying to fight it, but with less than 6 hours, it's not looking too good. All right, so y'all let me know what y'all think. Regardless, all right, it's Ricky Rich with Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.
We have breaking news update. The state of Missouri will carry out the execution of Marcellus Williams tomorrow. Marcellus Williams is the convicted murderer of the 1998 killing of Felicia Gale. In a news release, Governor Parsons says he did not grant clemency because, quote, the facts are Mr. Williams has been found guilty, not by the governor's office, but by a jury of his peers and upheld by the courts. Joe McLean has the arguments from the courtroom when the issue went before the Missouri Supreme Court today. Joe?
Williams' attorneys claimed a prospective juror was dismissed during jury selection more than 20 years ago because he was a young black man.
He said he struck a juror in part because he was a young black man with glasses. That is unacceptable. We cannot stand for that. Just because we're hearing about it 1 month before an execution date doesn't mean that it's too late.
Attorneys for the state pushed back, saying the lower court did not breach Williams' constitutional right to a trial by jury of his peers.
Not only is that a mischaracterization, you can't even draw an inference from this record that it was race-based. And it isn't drawing an inference, it's proving it by clear and convincing evidence. They didn't prove it by any evidence, certainly not clear and convincing.
Attorneys also discussed DNA evidence found on the knife used in the fatal stabbing, tested after Williams' conviction in the early 2000s. It revealed DNA matching one of the investigators, not Williams. A lower court said because Williams was not convicted based on that evidence, it's not enough reason to retry the case. Still, even the original prosecutor on the case, Wesley Bell, who's now the Democratic candidate for Missouri's 1st Congressional District, filed a memo with the court urging for a reversal of the sentence. The case has garnered widespread public attention, including from the Innocence Project and other justice advocacy organizations. Michelle Smith co-founded Missourians to Abolish the Death Penalty. She was in the courtroom as arguments were made Monday morning.
He has had his rights violated and has not gotten the due process that he should have over these 20-plus years, and it continued today.
Tech billionaire Richard Branson also bought a full-page ad in the Kansas City Star newspaper calling for Governor Parson to take action.
The Missouri Supreme Court made 2 decisions in that case, one to overrule a motion to exonerate Marcellus Williams and another to deny a motion to stop the execution. Williams is set to be executed at 6 p.m. tomorrow.
And that's, that's that. That's that. Another thing I forgot to mention, that I just want to make sure I'm, fully transparent with the stuff that I read. One was that, not that it would make a difference in my opinion on whether or not he needs to be executed or not, right? But this last thing that I wanted to share was that he was already in jail on a 50-year sentence for a robbery or a string of robberies prior to, right? So he was in jail when they got him for this as well. But again, that shows some sort of history with robbing people. I mean, stabbing. I read that 2 things. One, that he stabbed her 20 or 16 times, and another that he stabbed her 42 times. I don't know, but either way, I watch a lot of crime shows and stuff like that. Most people don't go from theft to, brutal slayings, just my opinion. But either way, he had a history with at least the robbery side of it. But it still goes back, I still defend that, or defend my stance on, the execution with it's not beyond a reasonable doubt, or the evidence that's supposedly there. And I don't even know how people are okay with someone being executed based off of 2 testimonies with people that are, one is, like I said, ex-girlfriend, way too close to him. I mean, they could have been on bad terms when when he went in, and she could have just said whatever, right? And not saying that she did. I'm just saying this, to me, sounds plausible and therefore creates reasonable doubt. Same with the second witness, supposedly one of his cellmates. I mean, we all know jailhouse snitches, right? Like that's like a thing, right? To me, that's plausible that this snitch would say something to better his own situation. That's reasonable doubt. You want to lock him up and throw him away, lock him up for the rest of his life, fine. You want to, any other punishment outside of execution, I'm okay with, because that'll give him time to actually fight. And if he's if he's innocent, prove that he's not. Right? But executing him with just minimal evidence, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, it's not enough evidence for execution. I mean, you got people literally walking around. I'll use George Zimmerman, for example, right? Literally knocked a young man off, and is free, and all the evidence was clear for him, right? And he's walking around free. But then you got somebody, you got light evidence, like just a little bit of evidence that doesn't even add up really, and you executing them. It just doesn't sit right with me. Something just not right with me on this one, So hopefully within the next, few hours, that would be mind blowing if something is overturned within the next few hours. But hopefully it is. Yeah. If not, then may God rest his soul. Especially if he's innocent. And if he's not, then he'll have to answer. He'll have to answer to the higher beings for that one. But yeah, this I don't like it. I don't like it. But one last little tidbit to those out there, who are moving in ways that you probably shouldn't be moving. Just imagine doing a string of robberies and then getting a murder pinned on you after that, right? Like, yeah, I don't need to be executed for doing a string of robberies, but let's I mean, I say that to say, let's just please, if y'all out there doing anything that could potentially get you locked up, just stop. Don't give him a reason to do nothing like this to y'all. Because it wasn't like and I'm not saying this never happens, but it wasn't like he was just, walking down the street going to work and then they pulled him in here and now he's getting executed, right? Like, he was in the system, and so that made him a mark, unfortunately. Now they have a reason to kill him. This just sucks. But y'all let me know what y'all think, all right? It's Ricky Rich for Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.